Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I'm trying a new foundation. So I was recently shopping with my oldest for a dress for the winter formal. And before we left the shopping center where we were at, which is like 65, almost 70 minutes from my house, I said, look, I know we're done shopping for all everything. You have accessories, shoes, dress, everything you need. Can we pop into Sephora? She's like, yeah. So we popped in and I was really curious to try this. Mostly I wanted to see if I could find a shade that would work well for my skin tone. Now, I did take the time to go to the Makeup by Mario website and to watch the little application video that he does. And what's interesting is he says that he's been using this for the last year on red carpet, on clients, all the time. And he says that there are several shades, because it's really adaptive, there could be several shades that would work on people. And I was like, oh, great. So I went in, the lightest shade, the one Cool, was way too light for me. So I picked up 2 Neutral. This is the second to lightest shade. I'm really hoping it's going to work. But when I was swatching it in store on the back of my hand yesterday, it looked absolutely gorgeous. Now, what I like about this is that one of the major claims, and this is always something that can be a problem for me, is that this should not oxidize. Oh, please tell me that is true, that the color in the bottle, the color on the face is the color I get all day long. Because I don't know how many times in the past it looks really good and an hour later I look like a completely different person. The other thing that's really nice is the formula is created to be buildable. So it's supposed to look skin-like, it's supposed to be hydrating, but it's also supposed to not look heavy. Okay, so I am going to start with 1 pump. Okay. Keep pumping. Here we go. 1 pump on my little palette. There's a special brush that comes for this, but you know me, I don't usually go for the brushes for application. I just use what I got. So I'm going to use this brush today. I might switch over to a sponge. I'm going to grab my mirror and let's start going. I'm going to start just by dabbing on. We'll do one side first. You know, I feel like this is going to be a really good color for me. All right, and I'm going to try and keep the bulk of it to the center of my face where I feel like I need the most coverage. This doesn't feel heavy at all. I like that about it. I don't feel like I'm wearing a layer of makeup. I really like the way this foundation looks. I feel like there is a very subtle but dramatic difference on the side where I'm wearing the foundation to the side where I'm not. Of course, I have this larger hyperpigmentation spot here, but I feel like some of the smaller imperfections on my face are definitely more noticeable without foundation. And over here, I feel like they're significantly diminished. It's not the first thing you see. I feel like what my skin looks like on this side is just radiant, beautiful skin. I've had it on for a few minutes. I don't see any of it instantly settling into the creases in my forehead. Those are my deepest expression lines on my face. And I feel like there are some foundations that instantly, like, they go straight into there. I'm really glad that in the last 2 to 3 minutes that I've had this on, that's not right where this is going. The other thing is, I don't have a lot left. And that's because the brush I was using, I think, was thirsty and it sucked up some of the product. So I'm gonna need another pump. And let's do the other side. I'm curious to see what happens if I use my fingers. I don't think I would need anywhere near as, wow, seems like a lot of coverage. Anywhere near as much, and I could get a lot more coverage out of just a little bit. After blending it in with my fingers on one side, I am gonna take a damp sponge and just kind of press over and perfect the edges here a little bit. Make sure that I don't have any excess product where I don't want it, especially here in my forehead lines. I'm picking up just a little bit on a smaller detail brush, and I'm just kind of going over certain areas that I feel, wow, look at that. Now, I've been working on this hyperpigmentation spot here, but it's really hard to see when I tap a little bit of this just right over the top. It's almost like you can hardly see it. And I have a little bit of melasma and maybe some beginnings of broken capillaries like right here on this part of my cheek. I don't know if that's from work where I have the top of my mask on my face all day at work, but I definitely feel like I have some more imperfections like right in this area than I used to. I'm gonna finish up my face and I'll be right back. It's been about 40 minutes since I finished putting on my makeup. I did a few things here around the house. I was like, oh wait, I need to finish my video. So I'm back. I did just give myself a quick spray with a hydrating mist. This is the Jeju Daily from Beauty Pie, but it's not really a setting spray. It's just to bring a little bit of life back to the face. And weather is cold where I live right now, so I hit my face with something like this a couple times a day. Anyway, on top of that, I did powder my entire face. I am using lightweight powder products today, but I fully set this foundation and it looks really pretty. I really like the way that it looks. It doesn't really feel like I'm wearing a heavy foundation. There are other foundations in my collection that when I put them on, I can feel them. Like the Airbrush Flawless from Charlotte Tilbury. She's a heavy foundation. Other ones that I'm thinking of that are really heavy, the Juvia's Place can feel heavy. The one from Patrick Ta can feel a little bit heavy. This one doesn't feel heavy at all. It's so pretty. Now the places where I usually, after about an hour, if it's gonna settle, it's gonna start settling like right here. I have a little line here and I have a little bit of product there. A minimal on both sides. Easy to tap out. I don't see any settling into nasolabial folds. There might be a little in the corners of the nose, but I don't have anything in my forehead lines. Wow. I don't feel like I have any kind of collecting in my crow's feet. I think overall, this is a really nice foundation. Now, you're probably going, hey, didn't you just tell me you powdered your whole face? Yes, but there are some foundations, despite being fully powdered, still like kind of settle into those dynamic facial lines. That's just the nature of getting older for me. And if I really want them not to move, I have to put a ton of powder on, but then I look like cake face. So I have to walk that line of let's set it, but not too heavy, and it might shift a little bit, so I'll check the corners of my mouth. And usually if I have any excess product there, you know, I kind of tap it out or wipe it down, and it's good for the rest of the day. I want to see what it looks like with cream products where everything is like glowy, 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 and I don't have to wear a highlight because my skin is already glowing and gorgeous. I am really excited about that. I feel like this shade in 2N is actually a really good match for me. And I do feel like the description of this being kind of flexible, Mario talks about how there could be, you know, 2 or 3 shades that would work for each individual because it's a very flexible formula. I think it's interesting, and I think that might actually be true. I think that if I were to go to the next shade lighter, I would probably look like Casper the Ghost, and you would see a very definite change between here and here. But I feel like overall, I look like I match. That's what I'm going for. I will get back to you and let you know how this wore in a future video, but I will leave a pinned comment below letting you know how it wore today. Like my initial first impressions. And I know first impressions are first impressions, but so far, I'm kind of excited. I think this is going to be a product where I might be able to let other things go in my collection because this is doing the same thing something else is, but only better. Let me know what sort of foundation coverage you prefer. Are you a tinted moisturizer sort of person? Do you like full coverage? Are you a medium buildable kind of person like me? That's what I prefer the most. Let me know what your favorite formula is and if you ever struggle to find the right undertone when you're shopping. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.